that the last 6 months, I feel like he has been after me like he's never been after me before. And so the fact that I'm here the last night standing, and I hope the next time I teach I'm standing, I've been humbled by this whole experience. There's been a lot of things I've had to evaluate in my life. And I appreciate you and your encouragement and your prayer. And we'll finish up tonight. There's no way we'll get through all this, but how hard is it to align your priorities with a caveat with God as the priority? How hard is that? What are your priorities? Zach, what's some of your priorities right now in the stage of life that you're in? The season of life you're in, give me your top 2 priorities right now.
Making sure my kids are growing up the right way. And
that's your number one ministry.
Providing for them.
And providing for them. Okay, there's a couple right there. Who else can share? What are some of your priorities? Steve, you are in the phase of being retired. So give me 2 of your top priorities right now.
Being able to spend more time doing work in the church.
Yeah.
And then spending time helping my aging parents.
Yeah. And probably the third would be John and his family and being a grandparent. So all of us are at different phases and different seasons of life. Kaylee, if I were to ask you, I won't ask you because you don't like me asking you things. But being single and being in a new career and being graduated as a young professional, you've got different priorities than Zach, and your priorities are different than Steve's. We all have different priorities. But what's important is that as we deal with the home, and even some of our grandparents and some of our great-grandparents, your priorities are a lot different now than my priorities, but they're the same priority. It's God. And so what we want to do is through life, our number one job is to align our priorities to please God. What is the most difficult part? What would you say is the most difficult season of life? What would you say it is?
Old age.
Old age. I'm looking forward to that because you don't have to raise kids anymore and teenagers. I would say that that's probably the most difficult season I have been through. Is joy. It's a lot of joy, but raising teenagers. That was hard. Was that hard for y'all? It's difficult. Raising teenagers, it's difficult. So the number one priority that we have to do, y'all get to be on the front tonight. Hang on. Is to align your priority not to be pleasing to you, but to be pleasing to God. And that is hard. That is hard because life's throwing the kitchen sink and everything with it at you. And it's difficult. And sometimes you want to give up. How many of you in here just have those days you want to give up and you just want to say, hey, listen, I know, God, I signed up for this, but I just can't do this. And I've had some days lately like that. I feel that way. You want to give up. You just want to take a step back and you just want to just say, God, I'm just not equipped to handle this. So we got to remember that our job is to be pleasing to God. And look, getting your priorities right, you can have the best intention and your priorities be wrong. But there's 3 reasons you do that. One is to pursue what is holy, what is right. And the second thing you got to do is you got to chase it. When you hear the word chase, what comes to your mind, Christian? You hear the word chase, what do you think? Effort. How many of y'all have had to run? How many of y'all have run from the cops before? When I was in high school, I would run from the cops, okay? Back in the back. All right. When you know, Uncle Ned, that you have done something wrong and you have immorally, that's why I'm talking to him. Your wife's calling you out. You know that you've spiritually messed up. You know that legally you have done something wrong and you're not aligned with God. You're gonna run. It's like blue lights behind you. They're going to do everything in their power to chase you. Well, look, this is how you align your priorities with God. You chase things that are holy. You have to pursue it. You're not just going to wake up today and automatically have this natural instinct that I'm just going to let life hand me what it hands me and I'm going to try to do. No, you have to make it your aim every day to pursue God. Because it's easy to not pursue God, isn't it? I mean, isn't it easy to go along with the world and look like the world and blend with the world? The world's all over us, but you got to fight that. You've got to fight that. And how you fight that is you pursue aligning your priorities with God, and then you got to be developed. I mean, how many of us have quit being developed? Everybody should have a spiritual mentor to help develop them. And that requires humility. I mean, what are you doing right now by being developed? Is someone helping to develop you? What is when you see all these neighborhoods going on out here, what's going on with those neighborhoods? Somebody is developing that neighborhood. Josh and Jackie, they're in the developing business. They take raw ground and they turn it into something incredible. They develop it. So who is developing you spiritually? Are you being developed? Well, look, if your number one job is not aligned to please God, then you aren't being developed. Who's developing you? So we got to do that. We got to pursue, chase, and develop these 40s. And look, it requires three things. Number one, you must deny self. What happens when you go with self? Help me out. Davey, what happens when you go with self? This is an elder talking. What happens?
Well, self always lets you down.
It'll let you down every time. Every time. You learn to count on you, and guess what? You're gonna be let down. The more I count on me, Richard, the more down I get. I got to step away and let God have it. Look, the next thing for the kingdom of God, as I'm aligning myself, is that I've got to take risk as a Christian. How many of you are not risk takers? Come on, ladies. Did you know most ladies are not really risk takers? But if you're going to do your job as a Christian, you must be a risk taker. What are some risks as a Christian that you have every day? What's some risk?
Go door knocking.
Go door knocking. That's a big risk. Why is it a risk?
I don't know. I've never been. I told Kristen, take the pistol.
Listen, rejection. Rejection. It's a risk, right? You put yourself out there for the Lord. Hey, listen, confront somebody who you love spiritually. Confront them. That's a risk. How about talking to somebody that you really admire and they're not a Christian? That's a risk. We haven't seen the days yet to where it's a physical risk. We really haven't seen that. That's coming, though. It's coming. Stephen took a risk. It's a risk to forgive people when they don't want to be forgiven. It's a risk to be forgiven when somebody don't want to forgive you. It's a risk. Learning to take risk as Christians, talking to people that we know need the Lord, but yet we're afraid to do it. You got to take risk. And then you got to learn that if you're going to align your priorities with God, you got to seize opportunities. How many of you have missed opportunities in here before with somebody? I told y'all not long ago I missed an incredible opportunity with a man that I really care a lot about. I told him I was going to come over and study the Bible. I said, you need to be baptized. That's what I told him. He was in the hospital, and he was about 85. And I said, you ready to be baptized? And he said, yeah. I said, I'm going to come over and study the Bible with you, okay? He said, okay. I'd love that. You know what I did? I didn't do it. I didn't seize the opportunity. He died. And I'll never forget that. And we have to seize opportunities. Listen, if this right here, if this is your number one job to be pleasing to God, then these things are easy. They will come natural to you. You will take risks for the Lord. You will make sure that you seize opportunities. And all that means you got to deny you. And we just don't want to do that.
All at once, though.
Huh?
It don't get easy all at once.
It don't get easy all at once. The whole purpose is for the kingdom. So let's look at some Bible verses. All right, I'm gonna call it out, and you got to say I got it, ladies. You are welcome to read too. Ephesians 6:6. Who's got that? Thank you, Josh. 2 Corinthians 5:9 through 11.
Okay.
Philippians 1:21. Thank you, Christian. Colossians 1:10.
Got it.
John 14:15.
Got it.
Luke 12:34.
Got it.
Romans 12:12.
Okay.
All right. Philippians 3:13 and 14.
Got it.
2 Timothy 2:22.
Got it.
And Luke 22:27. And we're going to start with Ephesians 6:6. We're going to blow through these, okay? I want you to key in on just a couple of words of this. We're talking about aligning our priorities, making sure That we're aligning our priorities in the home, we're aligning them in relationships, and we're aligning them at worship with our brethren, okay? All right, Ephesians 6:6.
Not with eye service as men pleasers, but as bondservants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart.
All right, what does that mean? What does that mean? To be what? You do it why? You do it for real. Is that what you said? You be for real. You be genuine. This is not about checking a box. God is not interested in the way that you perceive yourself. He's not. Does that not mean that you're not going to go through difficult times? Yes, that you going through difficult times and struggling with sin does not make you less of a Christian because you have a moment. Are you with me? Paul had lots of moments. Paul said, look, I try to do the right thing, and I think about doing the right thing, and I do the wrong thing. I do the things that I know I shouldn't do, I don't do them. And the things I should do, I don't do them. The things that I want to do, I don't do it. He struggled with it. But this is what he says. He said, listen, you make sure that when you've got your priorities aligned to be pleasing to God, that it is with a genuine heart. It's with a genuine heart. All right, who's got 2 Corinthians 5? Now, if you got something to add, you just say it. I'd rather you talk than me. Who's got that?
Okay.
All right, do it.
So we make it our goal to please Him, whether we are at home in the body or away from it. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each of us may receive what is due us for the things done while in the body, whether good or bad. Since then we know what it is to fear the Lord, we try to persuade others. What we are is plain to God, and I hope it is also plain to your conscience.
Hey, all right, get ready. You're going to give an account. You're going to give an account while this was the second thing. You're going to give an account while this was the fifth thing. You're going to give an account while this was last on your list. Get ready, it's coming. So here's the deal. He said, you make it your goal. It is your aim. It's your aim. How many deer hunters we got in here? A bunch of them. How many of y'all don't have a scope on your gun? Why do you have a scope on your gun? Why? It makes it easier. Why? Because you are aiming for something. So have you got your spiritual scope on every day? Do you have, the quickest way to hit, the quickest way to miss the bullseye? The quickest way? Don't aim. You'll hit it every time. So you got to aim. He says you got to make it your aim. You're going to stand before the Lord and you're going to answer for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Make it your aim every day. Philippians 1:21.
For to me, to live is Christ and to die is gain.
Oh, man. Man, it is awesome to die doing this, making it a priority. It is awesome. Man, who wants to die in the Lord in here? Who wants to go down dying a horrible death for the Lord? Let's do it. Man, let's bring it. Let's do that. I think that day's coming. I think it's coming. It may happen in our lifetime. If things keep progressing the way they do, I don't know that. But look where we are versus where we were 20 years ago. What an honor it would be to die doing the Lord's work. Serving God. Man, I'm talking a death by serving God. That you go all out serving God. You die making it your aim serving God. On your deathbed, you're talking about the Lord. Man, until you go unconscious. What a great way to die. Isn't that awesome? Who's got the next one? Colossians 1:10.
That you may walk worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing Him, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God.
Check it out. Here's the deal. This is like Dale said, this ain't easy. How many of us want to be pleasing in a few things we do for God? I mean, don't we want to be pleasing in everything? I mean, that's everything I do. That's my goal every day. Everything that I'm doing, whether it's being on the school bus, putting up with these kids' parents, I want to be pleasing to God. Man, whether it's doing business, having a good business relationship with people, I want to do everything I can possibly do to set the right example for my client. I want to do everything I can possibly do for those girls in that basketball team. I want to go all out, do every single thing you can do. You know what that means? That means that you are a walking, talking, living, breathing example. And I don't want to do anything that would ever cause somebody to stumble. Man, the price that will be paid for causing somebody to stumble. Wow. That's not what we want to do, right? All right, who's got the next one? Is all this kind of making sense?
If you love me, keep my commandments.
All right, so what is love? What is love? What is it? Love is discipline, right? How many of y'all in here really enjoy discipline? Well, what's discipline?
I like selective discipline.
A selective discipline. Of course you do. Everybody loves selective discipline. What is discipline?
Being committed, devoted, and faithful, I guess.
So what you know that you need, but you don't want it. How many of y'all been in the military? What does it take to get through basic training? Discipline. What does it take to finish a marathon? Discipline. What does it take to be loyal to Christ? Discipline. How important is discipline? He said discipline is all about love. Read that one more time.
If you love me, keep my commandments.
If you really love the Lord, you're going to stay faithful to Him through the most difficult times. How easy is it to love God when everything is going right? How easy is that? That's easy. But how hard is it to love Him when your marriage is fracturing, right? When it's eroding out from underneath your feet, when your kids are rebelling against you, when you don't get the discipline that you're trying to instill in them. How about when everything's stacked against you at work and your things that in worship aren't going right? You've got a personal conflict with somebody and you want to bail, you want to leave, you want to quit. How hard is it to be disciplined? He says, listen, if you love me, if you say you love me, then you've got to keep going.